Three, two, one. Jerry is not here, therefore we are on time. What's up, guys? Tech Talk number 54. We've got I Am Apropos back, and I have him back for two reasons. In fact, some people seemed really shocked, like, oh my god, you get to hang out with Jay and come on Tech Talk again. Dude, I think a lot of people don't realize you and I were friends long before my channel became popular. So,
yep,
you're like old school to me.
OG.
You're OG. But yeah, we were like, everything is set up, we're ready to go. In fact, we've been chatting for the last 10 minutes because everything was working.
Everything's working. Oh my god.
All right, guys. So we actually have some topics today. There's a poll out there saying half of PC gamers wait for sales to buy games. AMD announces several new FX CPUs. California outlaws non-disparagement clauses. If you know what that is, that's going to be a good topic. And Microsoft to buy Mahjong. The Microsoft or the Minecraft studios for $2 billion. Aye. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and roll that intro, and we'll get right into it, guys. Tech Talk 54. All right, guys, we are here. We are live. Thanks for hanging out with us. Before we kind of get into today's show, we're going to have some fun. But, guys, if you were, well, I guess born this century, something happened this day 13 years ago, which has shaped a lot of our lives for probably the good and the bad. And if you guys don't know, I am talking about the terrorist attacks of September 11th. Now, regardless of what your political standpoint is on that, regardless of who you think pulled it out, the bottom line is thousands of lives were lost that day, and countless others were affected. And what makes us, and I can't remember who said this quote, and if you guys have any idea what I'm talking about, please quote who said it. Someone said, what makes us different than the people who carried out these acts is that we have the ability to mourn people who we've never met. And I see Paul getting emotional. I get really emotional when I talk about September 11th, and I don't know anybody who was personally affected in New York. But what I can tell you is in June, I got to go to New York City for the first time in my life.
Wow.
And I got to go to Ground Zero. I took some time to go out there and check it out. And let me tell you something. 13 years later with that city, it might as well have happened 13 minutes ago. That city is still affected as if it happened yesterday. So Paul and I we talked about this a little bit earlier today about whether or not we wanted to do this tribute. Regardless of what your guys' opinion is on the matter, I care about the fact that a lot of innocent people were hurt and killed that day.
Most definitely.
And, so Paul, what were you doing when you heard the news?
Well, actually, I was going to work early to take care of some accounting, and I walked in the door. It was like really early in the morning. I remember barely being awake, and the security guard says, "Hey, Mr. Hiller." That's my last name, by the way. Whoops, threw that out there for the world.
He goes, Mr. Hiller, in there.
Do you go? He goes, did you see what's happening on the news? And he turned this little TV around, and I saw the first plane hit the building, and I was like, oh, that has to be some kind of prank or stunt.
Because they kept replaying it over and over on the news.
Right, and I thought it was fake. So I went to my office, and I flipped on my little monitoring TV, and I was just in shock. I could not believe what was happening. Yeah. But I remember everything. I mean, I remember smells because there was a rhododendron bush outside the building, and I can remember smelling, you know, how the fresh dew in the morning hits those bushes. They can put out a smell. I remember the smells. I remember the noises. It was so vivid. Yeah. It's been this many years, and it's still fresh in my mind like it just happened.
I was 20 years old, and it makes me feel old because my daughter's teacher was, I think she said she was 6 when it happened.
Wow.
Anyway, I was 20 years old, and my wife, just girlfriend at the time, was actually staying over, and I woke up. I used to sleep with the TV on, and it's weird how you talk about how you can remember the smells and things because our brain like remembers, especially smells. Smells trigger memories in humans. And I remember having a dream, and I was dreaming that I was flying like a Cessna, but no, here's the thing. I dreamt that I was flying a Cessna and that I was like flying towards this building, and I couldn't like control the plane, and I woke up. Here's the thing. The TV had switched to the news in the morning. It was early morning West Coast time, like 6 something in the mormorning.
Yeah, it was early.
Or 5:45 I think in the morning was the first plane or something like that. And so my brain was like listening to what was happening and kind of mixing into my dream. So my dream was like really twisted and weird. And I woke up going, God, what the hell? Looked at the TV and saw all the smoke. And I was like, okay. And at this point, the Pentagon had already been hit too.
Right.
And let's not forget, guys, I mean, there's loss of life in New York, Pentagon, and Pennsylvania. So this isn't just a New York tragedy. This is a worldwide tragedy. But I remember looking at the TV and I was so confused. I was 20. In fact, at the time, I was contemplating going into the military. And I remember hearing that the Pentagon was hit, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I sat in front of the TV probably for 18 hours straight that morning. I skipped work. I think everybody skipped work. I think the memory that lasts with me the most is seeing the pictures of like Disneyland being evacuated and all the people leaving Disneyland, the thousands and thousands of people, because at that point, Disneyland had never closed, ever.
Oh, wow.
Disneyland is a 24/7, 360, or not 24/7, but 365-day-a-year venue. Even in the rain, it's open. And it was the first time Disneyland had closed since it had opened. And I remember that was a huge deal. I mean, that's a local venue. That was so. Anyway, guys, what I'm going to do right now, if you guys could just bear with me, is I'm going to do a 2-minute, just a 2-minute kind of a moment of remembrance here for that, and then we'll move forward. But guys, remember, it's an important day. And if you guys have a problem with that, feel free to tune out. Come back later if you want. But this is
see you in a couple minutes.
Just a couple minutes here to remember September 11th, 2001.
Thanks, Jay. So can they hear us still?
They can.
Okay.
All right, guys, just the last comment. This is not about God bless America. This is God bless the human race. Okay, guys? So remember that. All right. Tech Talk time. Dry your eyes, everybody.
No kidding.
Okay. So gamesindustry.biz. I'm not too familiar with this particular website, but I am familiar with the NPD group. They're an independent kind of a survey organization, and they do lots of independent surveys. They polled 6,225 individuals ages 9 and older about their buying habits when it comes to games.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's funny that they chose age 9, though, because when we're talking about buying and age 9, I think some of the stats might become a little bit skewed at that point.
Right.
Only because a 9-year-old, I mean, come on, they're not really going to control most of what they buy. So here's what they found. We'll talk about the stats and then what is happening here. They found that 37%, and this was only polled in the United States, by the way, guys. This was not a nation or an international poll. 30% or 37% of gamers were actually playing PC games, and Of those 37%, 59 were male and 49, and I like how I put make in there.
I was just gonna say, there's 40, there's 51.
51% of them make 49% females. 80% of the time works every time.
Oh.
All right, so 51% were male, 49% were female. So that's actually a bigger number than I thought it was going to be, first of all.
Really? For the females part?
Yeah. I don't know.
There's a lot of female gamers out there. I mean, I follow quite a few on Twitter and on Twitch that actually stream, so that's not too shocking for me. But the comparison, 51 to 49, that seems a little high to me.
Yeah, I thought it might have been more like maybe 30-70, not 49-51. But then they asked them to self-classify themselves as hardcore gamer, casual gamer, occasional gamer, things like that. And they found that female gamers were overwhelmingly classifying themselves as casual, where males were overwhelmingly classifying themselves as hardcore.
We're all hardcore.
So anyway, 46% of those PC gamers purchased their games digitally.
Really?
I thought that number was a little low.
I did too, because most people that I talk to always buy their games digitally. There's a small handful that like to go out and buy a hard copy. I don't know. Interesting.
You know, the last hard copy game I personally bought was Battlefield 3. No, I take that. Well, okay. I personally bought Battlefield 3. I have a very good friend who's been sending me hard copies of like Titanfall and Battlefield 4, which I might not have otherwise gone and got the hard copy for.
Right.
But what they found is that hard copies are guaranteed to have a higher price tag associated with them. Like digital copies, you know, you can get like the Steam sale, the Humble Bundle, things like that.
Right.
But what they also found in this poll was they questioned the buyers what their buying habits were, and they found that a good majority, and I don't actually have the stat here because it didn't give it, but they found that a huge majority of them, I think it was over 50%, will actually hold out for the summer sale, the winter sale with Steam, and the Humble Bundles.
Instead of paying full price.
Right.
I'm the same way. I'd rather, well, I take that back because I would rather wait and save money on the purchase, but now that I'm, really building up my stream schedule on Twitch, I want to do my launch parties like I've done with Battlefield 4 and Call of Duties and stuff like that, so I try to get it as soon as I can, but yeah, I'd much rather hold out though.
Well, yeah, and I think with internet speeds raising or getting faster and things like that, a lot of people are doing digital because, like, I remember the last time I actually waited in line to buy a hard copy game was when Wrath of the Lich King came out for World of Warcraft. I was playing World of Warcraft pretty religiously. After my car accident, I was off work for 4 months. I'd already been playing it for a couple of years. For like 4 months straight, that's all I did. Put on weight and play World of Warcraft. And I remember waiting at midnight to go and get the hard copy. So what's happening is the NPD also does market research, not just polling, but market research to find trends and patterns in terms of where the money flows in the market. And they are actually blaming Steam sales and Humble Bundle groups for stifling the gaming commerce.
Just the constant sales. That's funny. Well, because people are like, well, I'll just wait for a Steam sale or a Humble Bundle instead of paying full price.
Yeah. People ask me all the time, like, what games do I play, and am I planning on buying this? I'm not the right person to ask. I would have been 3 years ago before I started YouTube, and I'd come home from my 9 to 5, and I had 6 hours in the evening to do whatever I wanted. I didn't have a child. I didn't have a second child on the way, a YouTube thing. So I rarely get to play. And that's why yesterday, like, when my camera batteries were dead, and I was like, oh, it looks like I can't make a video after all. That's when I hopped in and was playing with you guys.
We were seeing you jump in Greek, and Jerry were like, oh, he's getting in a game. Let's give him a hard time.
Oh, I'm pretty good at ignoring the chat, especially when Jerry's in there. But anyway, I see some people. Where's Jerry? Jerry is off test driving a Cadillac. He's doing a Cadillac review, and he took it to Dirtfish Rally School.
I just realized there's at Barnacles with my symbol and I'm apropos. That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't get rid of the at Barnacles. It's part of the background. So, and I actually don't have Photoshop installed on this machine. I did a clean wipe and I haven't reinstalled it.
Very good.
So you get to be at Barnacles. I am apropos.
Sweet. I can't do his mannerisms, but otherwise I will try.
Nobody can do his mannerisms. Trust me.
That's why I tell everybody on Twitter he cannot be replaced. He's a very unique individual. I'll just be me and I'll be here and help out.
So let's see here. But I just found that kind of interesting. This is the kind of topic that I know there's been a lot of gaming stuff going around. I know there's Boogie's trending like the whole Gamergate thing about comments being made about gamers and the type of people they are and stuff. And I found this to be an interesting topic of the numbers were not what I thought they were, though. I'll be honest.
Me neither. I'm really shocked by that, but that's also a good thing because it's always been a stereotype that gamers are guys. And if they're a girl, they're a guy in real life. You know
Mr.
what I mean?
Elemental Falcon says Jay is a noob tuber. I wonder if he's referring to the fact that I will throw a small in every group I can find. Hey, do you know how hard it actually is to put those smalls in the right place at the right time?
Jeez, no kidding.
It's not easy.
Not easy.
Do you know how annoying it is when you have a perfect line of sight on somebody and have a friendly cross in front of your rocket and blow up in his back? That's extremely frustrating. Just want to say that. Mm-hmm. All right. But anyway, this next topic is right up your alley. And we don't have a lot of information on it yet, only because the benchmarks and stuff haven't started emerging yet. But AMD announces new FX processors.
Yeah.
Now, before people start getting excited, it's the same pile driver cores. It's the same 990FX chipset. It's a minor refresh to the chips. Why don't you go ahead and take it away on that one?
Well, if you're looking at the SKUs, which could be confusing, if you just take a second and take a look at them, there's an 8320E, there's an 8370E, and 8370. And if you take a look at the link that we were looking at, the WCCF Tech link, they describe it as either E for efficient or optimized chips. Right. So you're going to get a lower TDP, you're going to get a little bit lower clock, but with a good boost. Right? So you got
it's
that
also
with
going to give you more motherboard compatibility too.
Right. And then you got that 8370, which is going to basically replace what the 8350 stood for in the market, which is going to give you the overclock, so you don't have to worry about possibly voiding your warranty with trying to overclock it. It's going to give you a nice overclock right away with a decent boost. So it's not giving you a huge change in CPUs from FX series, but it's giving you a refresh, which actually a lot of people might be interested in when they worry about temperatures and. I'm thinking that 8370 might even give you a little bit more headroom to overclock. I know me and Greek talk about that one stream you were trying to overclock your 8350.
Right.
Most hilarious stream ever. Well, there was highlights of it.
It's so frustrating though because you'll find a stable clock and then you'll watch it go unstable right before your eyes.
Yeah, oh my God, no kidding.
Yeah, where you're like, okay, look, I'm booted and I've got 5 minutes into this stress test and okay, I'll up the voltage a little bit. You up the voltage slightly and then you can't even get into Windows and you're like, what the hell? So you put it back to the working settings and then they won't post and you're like, ugh. But there's a reason for that though. I found out when talking to JJ.
Really?
Oh yeah, the reason why overclocks can become unstable is because every time you boot your system, the memory has to be relearned, and the memory gets what's the word I'm looking for here?
Configured?
No, my brain is becoming. My brain is completely mush right now. Mostly because Edison turned my AC off again, guys. It's another one of those flex your power days, and they're like, nope, Jay gets no AC during Tech Talk. Either that or my AC wireless unit has been hacked, and someone's like, this is fun.
Your neighbors over there.
Anyway, the memory gets certified basically at that point. Okay. Where every time it posts, it relearns the memory, it reconfigures the timings, it basically every single boot. So I was actually talking to JJ about the frustration of having a stable overclock, and then one day you go to turn it on, and it gets stuck on like a B4 trouble code, which is memory learning.
Right.
And it's like, what the hell? And he explained that to me, how it has to do with memory controller configuration and lots of tiny little things that are happening every time you boot your system. So that's how you can go from having a perfectly stable clock to an unstable clock by changing nothing.
Right.
It's not, and some people will call that CPU degradation, but it's very often not the CPU.
No, because you just change a couple tiny little things and you'll get back to stable.
Yeah.
Where if it was degradation, you would have to change quite a bit to lower everything a little bit to get it back to stable. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's not degradation there. But
it's also
go ahead.
Not to turn this into an overclocking discussion, but I know a lot of people will ask these questions on such a regular basis. It's not linear, guys. You can't say, and I'll use the 8350 for example because it's such a straightforward overclocking technique. You can't say, okay, I've got 4.5 stable at 1.4 volts, and then you can't say bump up your core clock to say 4.6 and go, oh, I'm unstable. I have to now bump up my voltage slightly to get stable. It doesn't always work that way. You might find an a negative sweet spot in there where that frequency and that voltage don't work, but you might actually sometimes get a higher frequency that works at the same voltage that didn't post one multiplier lesser than that. So
just
you
one.
You have to tweak it. And there's times where you may find that you can get a higher multiplier with a lesser voltage that didn't work. So it's not always step up one clock or step up the clock, step up the volt, step up the clock, step up the volt. It's not always that way.
No, it's not that simple. You got to really tweak things. But I was going to mention something because my personal experience with the 8350, I really could. I tried everything. I grabbed your guide. I grabbed my information from AMD. I talked to engineers. I'm like, okay, I want this thing to be. I want to overclock this thing. I want it to be over 4.5 and be able to do it. I got this. I had the same motherboard you did, the Crosshair V Formula Z.
Yep.
I'm like, let's do it. I had enough power in the system. That chip would not go over 4.2.
Yeah.
No matter what I tried. I'm like, are you kidding me? These things are supposed to be beasts. But that just lets you know that every CPU is different.
Every CPU is different and is only guaranteed to run at its advertised speed.
Exactly. So why I mention this is because if the 8370 comes in at 4.3, I couldn't get over 4.2. That's a nice little boost for the same price as what the 8350 was going for.
But
That's not bad.
But what I'm wondering here by looking at that, see, you got the 8320, which is a 3.2 base, a 4.0 boost. It's an 800 megahertz boost.
That's a nice boost.
The 8370E is a 3.3 to a 4.3, a 1 gigahertz boost. That's a really good boost.
That's a really good boost.
But then you've got the 8370, which is 4.3 boosting 4.4. That makes me wonder if these are binned in such a way where they've already found their headroom, and you may not get much more than that.
That's very interesting. I would like to see how that pans out because I know a few sites have currently started testing these. I haven't had my hands on them yet.
Yeah.
So I would like to see what the different variants are from the different sites. I know Tech Syndicate got their hands on them. I think they just recently did some testing. I got to go take a look at that. But I want to check that out because if there's headroom or if, like you said, they're just binned and they're set at their sweet spot, that's still a nice sweet spot.
Yeah. Well, it's very similar to the 9590.
Exactly.
The 9590 sweet spot. I mean, it's a 5.0 boost.
Right.
And
4.7.
Yeah, 4.7 to 5.0, but it's at that 220 watt TDP, which tells me we already know this. There are already binned 8350s, which pass that 5.0 gigahertz specification and certification test.
Right.
So chances are you won't get an overclock out of those that's very significant because you're already at the motherboard socket TDP limits.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is for sure.
There's a lot of people who I know thought, oh my God, it's 5.0. I bet we can hit 6. It's like, no, if you hit 5.1, I'll be surprised.
Right. There's some heat. There's some serious heat when that thing hits 5. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The heat goes up. I take off the side panel, put some fans in there. Woo.
Yeah.
But but I tell you what, I just did I'll tell you what. Oh.
You do a pretty good Hank Hill, I have to admit.
Thank you.
I've kind of got the Arnold down.
Yeah.
Like 80% of being accurate. You've got Hank down.
This is mastered. I'll be like, damn it, Bobby.
The only thing
AMD and AMD accessories.
No charcoal. The only thing that makes me concerned though is like you mentioned earlier is SKU confusion, because you've got 8320, 8320E, 8350, 8370E, 8370. What is it? 9350, 9590, or 9570, whatever those. 9370, 9590. All these numbers, and so people, I think,
confuse me. But
exactly,
if you look at the new SKUs and you kind of disregard the previous chips now, the 8320s and 8350s, you got the E for
efficient
or optimized, and then you got the 8370, which is now going to be their replacement for the 8350.
Right.
Which, coming out of the box at 4.3 with the boost of 4.4, where the 8350 was 4 solid.
Yeah.
What was the boost? 4.2? I can't remember.
You have to admit, it just goes to show refinements to the silicon and the wafer process that they have, because I mean they were able to get a better boost than the 8350 with 30 watts less on the TDP.
Now that's nice, because everybody always worries about the heat with AMD, right?
Right.
So that just, how long have these chips been out now?
2012.
Right. 2 years later, they're still able to improve on the same chip.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, granted, they're not like breaking improvements. It's keeping them relevant at that $200 price point.
Right.
Because what I really would like to see is an 8370E versus a 4690K, because they come in right around the same price. Now I'm going to say Micro Center pricing, because a 4690K, which is 4-core 4-thread,
right?
Intel at I think it was 81 watts. I want to say it's 81 watts, and you have the 8370, which is 8 cores, 8 threads, and just only a few watts more. That's a lot of stuff to remember. This is why I misspeak in every single video.
Coming.
So the 8350 and the 36. Oh my God, I can't remember anymore. Okay, the bottom line was the 4-core Intel, the i5, was stacking up against the 8350.
The 3570K.
All this time, right? All this time, and so it's interesting to see how the 8370 stacks up to the current i5.
You know, I would love to see that too. So I'm excited to see what happens there and keep my eyes open for it, because when I compared the stock 8350 with my i5 357K, this all was out of my own pocket before I became part of Red Team Plus, where they were providing these things for me to test. I literally sold my i5 because I'm rendering videos. I'm doing, Twitter or Twitch. Bleh.
Right.
So I'm doing things a little bit more than the i5 could actually handle, and I had to actually turn down graphics when I would stream to be able to get a smooth gameplay.
Yeah.
Where with the 8350, never had to do it. And now with the 9590, I don't even have to worry about it. I just, do my thing, and that's why I do my streams, so I can show off what the AMDs can still do, even though people are like, well, are they even still relevant because Intel's faster? Well, come and see. Come find out.
Well, is a Honda still relevant because
it's a car?
Yeah, I mean, I have no problems. I recommend Intel and AMD on a daily basis.
Right. Depending on budget, right? And performance demand?
Not only budget and performance demand, but use case of the PC.
Right.
Because if anybody can go right now and look up the 5960X versus 8350. Actually, you could find AnandTech did a complete roundup of all the CPUs
in their
all the way from 5960X all the way down to i3s. And the difference between the 8350 and the 5960X on frames per second was 2.
Right. But yet price difference.
Oh, geez, $800.
You get an 8350 and put that $800 towards a R9295 X2. Ha!
Yeah.
And you probably could still afford a triple monitor 1080p setup.
You could buy that 8350 and yeah, like you said, 95X2, or you could get a couple of 290s or 280s or whatever, and you could have a hell of a setup. So I've seen a lot of people who want the 5960X simply because it's the latest and greatest,
biggest, baddest on the. Yeah,
I
understand that.
It's all about bragging and stuff, and the truth is, if I was not rendering every single day.
And as much as you do,
I would never have left Z97.
Right.
And the reality is, if it were costing me, full price to do these systems, I'd probably still be sitting on my 3770K, because that's the last system I built that was 100% out of pocket for me.
Right. And you actually moved into that, leaving the 8350,
which I called the most
worst mistake you made.
It was the most costly. It was the most non-effective move I ever made. It was a lateral movement.
1 second.
I thought Paul was going to be like,
"Oh no."
Jay said that AMD was a
Jay. I thought my wife thinks there was little technical issues, but I think it's the same issues that everybody complains with on YouTube sometimes. A little choppy.
Oh
but
yeah.
It's not on our side.
Yeah, I've encoded 63,000 frames to drop 0.
Woo! Nice. So it's just the normal YouTube thing.
And the computer is doing it at 45 degrees.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jay. I just was like, is there something? No, I realized from watching before that it's just a normal YouTube thing that people are.
Yeah, the replay will be smooth. It is
awesome.
What it is. So yeah, I mean, guys, I'm gonna say it again. Brand loyalty is retarded. All right, I'm sorry. It can do horrible things to your wallet. Trust me.
Am I loyal to AMD? Sure, in a sense. I am an AMD Red Team Plus member, But does that mean I'm always going to recommend AMD? It totally depends. Like what you were just explaining, why you would recommend different things. It depends.
Okay. Let me rephrase that.
Will I tell you to look at these new AMD FX chips for a budget that will let you render, stream, which most of you want to do. I know you do, because everybody wants to be a Twitch or a YouTube star.
Yeah, and I've noticed a huge increase of people wanting,
right?
I'll ask them, what do you want to do with it? They're always like, streaming game. All right, let me rephrase this a little bit. Brand loyalty is not dumb. Blind loyalty is dumb.
There you go.
People who will simply recommend a brand because it's a brand, knowing nothing about the brand. And unfortunately, I see that happening by the thousands in my comments.
So much. They don't know what they're talking about. They usually just repeat something someone else said.
Yeah.
And they don't, make sure that what they're saying is actually legit. Yeah.
Well, everybody's an armchair expert these days, myself included.
That's okay.
So, I don't know if you were watching the episode, Paul. Jerry and I were talking a few weeks back about companies giving out fines for negative reviews.
Goodness, yes, I was watching that.
It made national headlines that this hotel was charging bride and grooms $500 per negative review if anyone in their trolled. Guest list. Yeah, if anyone in their guest list left a negative review, they'd get charged $500 per review.
Are you kidding me?
That was what was happening.
You know how many? If that.
Yeah. But that's been happening a lot now. Like for instance, there's a company out there by the name of, let me find it here, ClearGear. ClearGear.com was hitting people with a $3,500 fee if you left a negative review.
That is a huge fee.
$3,500.
Oh my goodness.
So a woman was hit with that fee, and she said,
"Oh my goodness."
She said, "F you, ClearGear," and took him to court. She took them to court. I don't remember exactly what the basis of her lawsuit was. And yeah, I saw that Skype
I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah, no, it's Skype. So anyway, she took them to court, and she countersued and got awarded $306,000 countersuit and won.
Hello.
Against ClearGear.
$306,000 because she got she got hit with a $3,500 fine. Hit me with a fine, baby. I'll buy a house.
Exactly. There's another company out there by the name of Accessory Outlet that will charge you $250 if you even threaten to leave a negative review about customer service or the company in any public forum. Not just
How is that even legal?
Not just like Yelp or Better Business Bureau or any of that kind of stuff. We're talking like I go into hard forums and say Accessory Outlet has horrible customer service. They will try to fine you $250. So the question comes in, who has the authority to do those types of fines?
I don't even see how that's legal. Well, and it isn't. That's why she won $306,000.
Well, this leads me to the state of California finally did something in the legislature that I actually agree with. If you live in the state of California, you guys know that California politicians are probably all on the short bus. I have no idea how our politicians get elected here in the state, but they are pretty damn bad. So I'm sorry if that's politically incorrect.
I lived there
but
for 5 years. I totally agree.
I'm sorry if that's politically incorrect, but we're talking about politicians, and it's important to be politically incorrect with politicians.
He says
Didn't you live in like Anaheim or LA or something?
I lived in East LA.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, yeah, man. Alright, mister, let's do this, eh? Come on, vato. All right. So anyway, Governor Joe Brown signed into legislation a law that starts in 2015 that makes it illegal to do non-discretionary clauses. So that's actually what it's called. It's called. Oh, I'm sorry. No, non-disparagement. They were calling them non-disparagement clauses, where it's like deep inside the terms of service when you buy. You buy from Best Buy, and it's like you have to adhere to our terms of service.
It's like on the receipt.
Nobody ever reads it, and they're like, they just click accept, and then they do their online purchase, right?
Right.
Well, these companies were like burying it deep in the language.
Wow.
That hey, we're going to charge you with a $500 fine if you do a disparage against our firm. By clicking you agree to the terms of service means you agree to not say anything negative. And that's the thing. A lot of companies online actually have these. And I went and looked on some, and they're there.
That's crazy. They're kind of using that whole slander thing to try to charge people to keep them from
pretty much
doing this. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's damaging their brand. And this,
right.
No, you're damaging your own brand, knuckleheads.
Especially putting this in there. Holy cow. That's...
Yeah.
And when this comes out, I mean, if more people do what happened to Clear Gear, a lot of people are going to be taking that stuff out of their, clauses.
But here's what California did. California didn't only say it's illegal. They put like guidelines in there for you to actually go and claim against these companies.
Nice. Wow. California did this?
California.
Of all states.
Makes me wonder how much of that fee they're going to take in taxes. Anyway. So, first offense. $2,500 fine from the company paid to the person who gets hit with the fee.
There you go.
So, okay, so Paul, let's say you're.
What if their charge though is like the $3,500? Then you're still at $1,000.
No. Just the fact that they even tried to slap you with it. You say "F you," I'm not paying it. You countersue. You're immediately found. You're immediately awarded based on the fact that you have the proof that, hey, they tried to hit me with this fine.
Right.
So let's say you're Joe Blow's smoke shop online, and I buy something from you. I'm not happy with your service. I say Paul's a pile of crap. You say, hey Jay, you can't say that.
I'm charging you $3,500.
You click submit, and I'm going to say screw you, Paul. I'm going to go ahead and countersue you based on this legislation that starts on the January 1st. You immediately owe me $2,500 from the fact that you even tried to collect on the first offense. If you try to collect again, or you and not just you.
Anybody.
If you try and do it ever again, it's a $5,000 fine for subsequent violations.
What?
If I can prove that you had willful, intentional, or reckless violations of the law, then I'm immediately awarded $10,000 per violation.
Looks like I need to move back to California.
Yeah. So what I think is awesome, though, is that the penalty is awarded to the plaintiff.
That's really cool.
Normally, these fees just get forfeited to the state.
It makes sense because the state isn't the one being affected by the company trying to embezzle fees for speaking the mind about a product.
Yeah. Well, that's where they come up.
Maybe I'm using the wrong word, embezzle, but it's like extortion.
It's more like extortion. Yeah.
Right. It's like the mafia extorting money out of people. Hey, I'm going to give you protection. Whatever. It's just that's nice to give it to the.
But no. Here's what's happened though the term escapes me. There is legal, like when you go into business with somebody, there are clauses in there that basically it's like a non. Basically, what it says is you agree not to sue the person, that you have to go to third-party mediation. Right. And it goes out of court. I can't remember what that's called. Please, I'm not a legal expert, but I know just enough to be dangerous. Yeah. So, there's basically a clause in there. Paul, you and I go into business. We have an agreement that says if we have a disagreement, we legally cannot go to court. We agree to go to third-party mediation, who will settle it for us. So they've kind of taken that and ran with it in their own direction, just willy-nilly.
Right. We're going to get extra money from anybody that says anything bad about our products.
We're going to go into the business of finding our customers.
No. It makes me wonder how many people have fallen victim to this and didn't do anything about it and just paid it.
Yeah.
That kind of scares me.
Yeah, that is the scary part. There's a lot of people that will just kind of to get someone off your back, just pay it. And like, well, leave me alone. But even $250, I'm not paying that. $10, I'm not paying that. Screw it.
No. Could we get them restitution? You think California goes that far?
Well, it's funny. We used to have an exterminator here, and no, we used to have an exterminator that would come.
I heard Terminator. I was like, yeah, he used to be the.
Yeah, we used to have the Terminator here, and I used to go and squish the bugs. Dead. Take that bug. So anyway, so I was out of town. My mom was here at the house, and the exterminator came and was getting ready to start spraying and stuff, and I had forgotten to leave a check for the exterminator. Right. So my mom goes out there and offers to give him a check, but asks if he can hold it for a few days because she's on fixed income. I mean, my dad's disabled. She doesn't work. They're on fixed Social Security income, which is like pennies in this state. Oh my God, especially in California. Good Lord. So she's like, well, it's a $45 check. And she's like, if I write you this check, can you just hold it for like 3 days? And he's like, oh my God. And he like threw his stuff in the truck. He's like, this is bullshit. And starts cussing out my mom. So my
What?
mom sends me a text message and tells me what's going on, and I get on the phone with him right then and there, and I'm very calm, and I'm like, hey, I don't remember his name. This was like 2-3 years ago. I said, hey, so let me ask you a question. I said, my mom tried to leave you a check? He's like, yeah, she tried to give me a post-dated check. And I said, let me ask you something else. I said, do you fucking yell at your own grandmother? And I said, because that's what you just did to my kid. And I said, let's go ahead and talk about your issues and why you're getting fucking fired right now. So he starts screaming at me. I start screaming at him. He tries to put a contractor's lien on my house for $45. He's like, I'm gonna put a contractor. I'm gonna put a contractor's lien on your house. You're not gonna be able to get your DMV restarted, or you're not gonna be able to get your license till you pay it. Blah blah blah. And I said, you know what? You go ahead and do what you think you have the law or the right to do. I said, I promise you right now, you're not getting the $45. You're not putting a contractor's lien on the house because you and I don't have a written agreement. It was a verbal agreement. I said, and second of all, come back to the house and watch what happens. Do you think he came back to collect?
No, that's California, baby. He's not coming back.
Yeah. So anyway, I went off on him because he in the middle of the front yard was screaming at the top of his lungs at my 65-year-old mom.
No.
I was like, no. You don't yell at your mom. You don't yell at my mom.
Nope.
You don't yell at nobody's mom.
No.
So what made it more awkward is he was the exterminator for my wife's company, so my wife had to see him every month for like a year.
What?
And she was the accounts payable, so she had to work with, give him the checks and stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah. What's funny is he wouldn't mention it at all
I bet.
to her.
He's like, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Yeah, he had never met me in person, and he tried to act all tough. I was like, look, I guarantee you right now, you show up on my doorstep, you see me, you're going to turn around, you're going to walk right back to your truck, and you're going to look a fool. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah.
In fact,
you know what's funny? Guys like us, we could say that. And they mean it. And when they do actually come up to the door, they do exactly what we just said.
Yeah.
They go, oh, crap.
I don't know if he's in here or not. When I was at Fry's the other day picking up these panels, I guess a fan had spotted me there, but he didn't come up to me. He didn't come up to me and say hi. He said he was on his way. I was like, why don't you come say hi? He said he was on his way out, and he was really busy. And he was like, you're a lot bigger than I thought.
Dude, a quick fist bump is all it takes. What's up?
But that was his first comment. That was actually his tweet
You're
to me. He's like, hey, saw you at Fry's. You're a lot bigger than I thought.
I saw that tweet.
Yeah.
That's funny. I've been... Just from people that around here in San Antonio that are starting to get to know who I am through my wife's college and stuff, they've only seen me from my shoulders up.
Yeah.
And then they'll meet me and they're like, damn, you're a lot bigger than you seem on camera.
What's funny is, let's say, and you'll see this on the stream in about 2 minutes. Let's say my hand is Linus and Jerry. Like my hand is their height. I would be about right here to them. And you'll see it on the stream. It's
looking.
You'll see it in like a minute. Trust me, I met them.
Linus who?
Oh, Linus, Jerry, Paul's Hardware, Kyle.
Oh, yeah, they're little
JJ.
guys. They're like 5'9", 5'10", maybe? Well, no, Linus is shorter than 5'10". He's like...
But even JJ's a big guy, but I still dwarf him.
Yeah? Well, me and you are about the same height. 6'4", almost 6'5".
Yeah, I'm 6... You're probably about a half inch taller than me.
Maybe.
And I've got like 2 pounds on you.
Yeah, we're big.
You and I would make like a UFC fight. For like 30 seconds, we'd be going at it. No, for like 30... It would be the best fight. It would be the best 30 seconds ever because we wouldn't knock each other out. We would just fall down exhausted in 30 seconds.
I would spin to my death and hit the pet. I'm dizzy. Done.
And I'm back here going, my sciatic! My sciatic! Ah!
Did you guys imagine that?
Can't move my legs!
How many of you would watch that?
Well, yeah, because
Vegas, CES right now.
Well, yeah, because you get vertigo, right?
Yeah.
You get vertigo, and I have a bad sciatic. So my left leg, well, sometimes I'll just be walking, and I'm like, oh, there goes my leg.
We'd be laying next to each other, going, oh my god.
We're all throwing handle punches at each other from the ground, like, trying.
That's funny. Kevin says 5'10" is not little. It is when you're almost 6'5". 5'10" seems short. You're just looking down, and I'm like, well, you're just a little guy.
I know. I would watch it. I was actually watching UFC yesterday on UFC. UFC has a YouTube channel where they have put up free fights, and I was watching the girl fight. I was watching the girl fights. So what do they call it? The hottie karate or something like that. Anyway, so my wife comes in and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I had the UFC playing on the main system, and I'm on the test rig doing all my benchmarking. Right when you and I were talking, so I had all the benchmarking going on my test rig. For the R9 285 guys, that's coming on Tuesday. Look for that video. My wife walks in and goes, "What are you doing?" And I have Battlefield going because I'm benchmarking, and UFC going over here with chicks fighting. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Working." She's like, "Yeah, it looks like you're working really hard."
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. So anyway,
Last kind of went off topic a little bit.
but that's what TikTok's all about.
Right.
It's all about taking the discussion in any way it just goes. That's what makes it organic. That's
Right.
why 859 people are still in here. All right. So we talked last week about Twitch or Amazon buying Twitch for $1 billion, right?
$1 billion.
$1 billion. So anyway, Microsoft is in serious talks with buying Mahjong Studios.
What?
The creators of
they're the
Minecraft?
creators- Yeah. Wait, why would they why would they even be interested in buying that? And for how much?
$2 billion. Now, when you look at the fiscal, and I didn't put this in the notes, so I'm gonna throw some numbers at you here. When you look at the fiscal earnings last year for Minecraft, they made $356 million. So theoretically, they could make their money in 5 years if Minecraft never earned a single percentage of growth.
Okay.
Okay. My question is, why are they laying off 18,000 people just to buy a game for $2 billion?
Wow. That.
Why is Jerry trying to figure out how to get his family health care and security
Ooh.
when there's $2 billion on the table for Minecraft?
For a very old game.
One that has been offered to be purchased by many other studios that they've always turned it down.
Wow.
Mahjong's always prided itself on its independence in the gaming realm.
Right.
But now it's not confirmed. This is a report by the Wall Street Journal being re-reported by Joystick, which is a very large gaming, editorial. But the Wall Street Journal is usually pretty credible when it comes to big business deals. They don't know anything about Minecraft. All they know is there's money involved, and we want some money, right? Old guys want the money. So Microsoft wants to buy Mahjong for $2 billion. Now, I thought, okay, there's no credibility to this yet. It's rumors. Nobody will comment. Microsoft won't comment. Mahjong Studios won't comment. But then the report says that the deal could be finalized as soon as a week from now.
What?
A week.
That means they've been talking about this a long time.
Now, how long ago did they make?
that.
But look, and now let's start to tie it all together. How long ago was it that they started cutting off all of the microtransactions involved with the private servers?
Ooh.
Remember, you could buy and unban, you could buy admin rights, you could buy special abilities.
They cut all that off.
They cut all that off months ago. That had to have been when the conversation started.
Hello. That's interesting, but semantics. But is it mahjong or mojang?
Maybe it's Mojang. I don't know. Bottom line is, we know who we're talking about here. It's not the Chinese tile game, guys.
I was thinking.
And more ironically, it's a Swedish company.
Interesting.
So,
But still,
owned by
$2
PewDiePie.
billion?
Oh my God, Half-Life 3 confirmed. No, I'm kidding.
Done.
So, I don't know. I have
billion.
a really hard time with an organization laying off 18,000 people and buying a fucking game franchise.
Do you know how many 18? I mean, just putting it into perspective, 18,000 people. There are countless cities within the United States
That have
that
less
have
than that.
less population than that.
By half.
Right? I grew up in a small town that had 3,000 people in it. So
Yeah.
18,000? That boggles my mind. And now they're wanting to spend $2 billion on Minecraft?
They're saying it's Mojang, whatever. Mojang. You guys know who I'm talking about, okay? The pronunciation doesn't matter. I'm a gringo. Just go with
Stop nitpicking.
Yeah, it's the Mojang company with the Minecraft being bought by the Microsoft bastards. We need to have an Arnold and Hank do a live stream. Arnold and Hank play BF4.
Oh,
Hank!
you took that
No,
off.
Hank! Get him on the left! The tank! Get the tank now! Shoot it!
I'll
You
go
just
up
calm
that
down
tank
there. You just calm down there, sport.
You just stop whacking off in my camper. Take this RPG.
Oh my God.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Giggity. So anyway, I don't know. Is Minecraft really worth $2 billion? And let's say it can continue to pull in $350 million a year. When Microsoft buys it, will they fuck it up before they can make any money on it?
They're gonna microtransaction the hell out of it.
And they'll probably put an end to private servers.
That would suck. You know how many people live off private servers?
Oh, they don't care. They don't care.
Goodness.
Do you know how many people live off their salaries? 18,000 of them they didn't give a shit about.
Right? Nope.
I don't care if the bulk of them came from the Nokia project or not. Those are still jobs and stuff. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
Wow.
Not happy about that whatsoever. So those were the four topics that we have now, guys. We're gonna go ahead and spend the next 40 minutes here just chatting with you guys, talking about whatever we want. And if you guys have just joined us, I am apropos the other Paul.
I'm not Paul from Newegg.
Go and find him on YouTube. Go and find him on Twitter, on Facebook. He is a PC consultant, part of AMD's Red Plus team, a Red Team member plus.
Team Plus.
Red Team Plus member. There we go. I don't know. I'm not a part of Intel's Blue Team. I don't even know what that means. So anyway,
interesting thing. I was.
There was an Intel thing.
There was an Intel Think group.
Oh,
they called it, and they didn't do anything for us, but they wanted to pick our brains like crazy.
Yeah.
And there was there was a group of us. They actually grabbed a bunch of people from different forums, and they asked us a bunch of questions. This was a couple years back before I was even in talks with being anything to do with AMD.
Right.
And I was like, yay, I get to be part of this Intel Think thing, whatever it was. And we signed these contracts that we couldn't share anything, and they were allowed to use our quotes when it comes to picking parts. And sure enough, it went to this database thing, and yeah, it was got absolutely nothing for a lot of work.
Interesting. Well, yeah. You also do the Fragging Frogs every Friday.
Every Friday. Thank God it's Fragging Frog Friday. That starts at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time and goes till 10. Everybody in the community is welcome to come play with us.
Now, who are the other members? It's you, Torn TV,
for Red Team Plus?
I Walk the Dead?
For Red Team Plus?
Yeah. Who's on the team members?
You have Torn _TV. I'm going to name them off in Twitter. You have Janet2K. You have Super Ben. In fact, real quick, if you don't mind, Super Ben's he travels the world, right? And he goes and looks for super techie stuff all over the place. And he's on his way right now. He was going to come and watch the show, but he's on his way flying to Thailand, and he's going to go to one of the biggest tech malls that's like 10 stories of just tech. He's going to take a picture for us and show it off. But then there's Super Ben, Janet2K, Torn TV, me, and we got Jacob Basria. We have Craig, who goes by Fart and Dust. That's 6. And then our team lead is Sam Shaw, WarSam71, Sam Shaw 71 on Twitter. Mm-hmm. That's our team lead. So there's our 6 right now. And it's we basically just
Do you guys play on private servers?
I think we have one now available since last weekend's event that Roy Taylor did for us.
All I know is that
excuse me,
Coconut Monkey and I tried to join you guys one day. We just tried to join in on you guys, and it said we couldn't connect to your server. That's why I wondered.
We could have been on a private server that time. If we are, it's still kind of open. So just let me know, and I can get you a password to it. Unless we're doing like the event on Saturday where we only had a limited seating for who was competing for that graphics card.
Yeah, talk about that real quick because that was kind of a big deal.
That was awesome. The VP of global marketing for AMD said, hey, community, do you want to come play Battlefield 4 with me? If you do, we signed up over on the Fragging Frog server, forums, which is part of PCPer.com. He put up his own R9 295X2 graphics card for a giveaway, and someone won that awesome giveaway. It was a ton of fun. I put it up live on Twitch, my channel.
It was pretty cool. Like anytime you killed Roy, you got 5 extra entries.
You had to knife him.
Oh, knifing. Oh,
it was him and Sam.
Tags.
Yep, you had to knife him, got you 5 extra entries if you were the top score. So if you couldn't get knifes, but you focused on your score, you got extra entry points for trying to win that card. And someone actually won it by only having 1 knife. His 5 entries from that 1 knife, he won it, and oh my god, it was exciting. But real quick, there's a birdie that's saying that AMD Roy is possibly planning to do something similar for the UK.
That's cool, because this was only open to the US, right?
This was only open in North America, yeah.
Well, that'd be cool.
And I'll let you know, the guy is really good at Battlefield 4. He loves gaming with the community. He's really big at challenges. If you're willing to challenge him and want to play with him, he's open. Leonido is his name on Battlefield 4.
Will he do any kind of challenge or just like
for Battlefield 4?
Yeah.
You know what? Put him past it and see what he does.
Like if I said, Roy, I challenge you to a jet dogfight, would he take it?
He might.
That would be fun. Jay
That would be
versus
really
Jay
cool.
versus Roy.
Goodness, if we get that dual stream, that would be really cool. But
Yeah.
hey,
it would
throw
be
out
just
there.
just he and I in an air
Right?
superiority server.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. Throw it out there, see what he does. He is really big on interacting with the community, and I think something like that might interest him. You never know. I mean, we didn't expect what happened last weekend. I had no clue that was even a thought, and then all of a sudden he just surprised the community and said, "If you're willing to come and play, I'll put up my R9295X2."
Because he's got 5 more in the closet. No, I'm kidding.
So I'll tell you, I'll tell you what. If you're interested in anything like that, he surprises the community all the time. On Twitter, it's at AMD_Roy, ROY. Follow him. He could surprise you at any moment with an announcement that he's going to do something.
There you go.
He's
yeah,
awesome.
Roy's been pretty big in the community, and you guys over with Frag and Frogs and the AMT Red Team Plus members have built pretty decent. Over the last year, you guys have built a pretty strong community.
We're working on it. We figured the PC per.
I may not have
gaming
attended,
group
but
is-
I've been watching. Trust me.
I've seen you sneak into some of our games, which is pretty cool. As I was like, oh, I just killed Jay, or he just blew me out of the sky. What the hell?
And then you look for me in the list, and I'm not there anymore.
Right? He must have been testing something. But what's nice is the Fragging Frogs have been a community for over a decade on PC Per's website. Before it was PC Per, it was it was called something about AMD. I can't remember the name off the top of my hand, but they have a great community. The guys are really welcoming. That's why tomorrow I do it every week. And I wanted to promote it. Go ahead.
What did you say before they were AMD? What was your statement?
They were before they were PC Per.
Oh, okay.
The name of their website was AMD something. I can't remember the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how long it's been since the Fragging Frogs have been around. It's been over a decade. They're an awesome group, and they've been such a small group, kind of close knit for so long, that when we kind of entered that group, it was like becoming, getting into a small club, right?
Yeah.
You're like, wow, these guys have known each other forever. They're, have inside jokes and stuff, but they're so welcoming to everybody who comes in. If you're cool, they'll welcome you and they'll, shoot you just like everybody else and congrats you when you do a good job and just have fun. Nobody's in there to be professionals, so you're not going to feel bad when you do bad, or if you do really good, you're, congratulated and get your dog's
you know what's
like
fun?
someone else.
You want to know what's interesting about last night's game when we
What's
were
that?
playing? One, I never ever played locker. I hate locker. I hate it. And you guys were in like a 24/7 locker.
Oh
it
my
seemed
god, yes.
And so I started off playing engineer, and I was blowing up faces. And I'm like, this is too easy. I'm just putting rockets down the hallway, and I'm getting double and triple kills over and over and over. So then I went, let's make this challenging. So I played assault class, which I never play. I haven't even unlocked the big health pack yet.
Oh yeah, you usually play
Engineer.
Engineer, yeah.
I have I don't know, 10 engineer service stars already, something like 30 or maybe 25 MTAR stars. See, guys, I have my very specific loadout. My very specific loadout. And I don't venture from that. I've got no other class stars. I've got my most stars in engineering class, my tank, and aircraft. I've got tons of stars. I've unlocked everything for there. And you want to know how I play my very specific loadout? When the game is over, all of the things I'd be getting points for are a dot because they're like maxed. I missed out on so many points because I'm like, no, I can't play assault. I can't play support. God, if I try and play recon, it would be like a blooper reel. Right?
Right.
I'm terrible at recon. And you know what's funny is Coconut Monkey is an awesome sniper. I was watching
kidding.
him.
In Battlefield 4, it blows me away.
I was watching him play over here on my test rig, and I spend half the time when I should be playing, I'm like this, just watching him over there, like tongue hanging out. And I'm watching him use the dots on the scopes, adjust his metering.
What?
And I'm like, how do you even know this? And I'm watching him like, dude, you're not even aiming at the dude. And I'll watch the arc as a guy's running
And he
and
dies.
500 meters away, and then dude's dead. I'm like,
see,
really?
I can do that in Battlefield 3. For some reason, I can't figure out how to do it in Battlefield 4. I have given up on my recon class in Battlefield 4, and I go back to Battlefield 3, and I'm like, yes, I can finally shoot someone across the map with a sniper rifle. But Battlefield 4, nope.
It has to do with the metering. He's very good at
Yes.
he's very good at measuring the distance and making sure that his sights are dialed in, so he knows which dot to
Right.
use.
That's awesome.
He's really. But what's funny though is when we get into a tank, he doesn't know how I can nail those long-range Sabo shells, and he's like, "How the hell do you do that?"
I was in your tank, and you did
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And I was like, what?
Remember, you were in my tank, and I was shooting down jets.
It blew me away. I was enjoying myself watching that. That's
And
impressive, because I can't do it.
And not just jets that would fly right over top of me, like jets
No.
across the map.
Across the they look like a speck, and I'm trying to shoot. I'm all tat tat tat, and he goes, "Watch this." I'm like, I'm watching. Boom. how the hell did you do that? It's like, I get in the tank and I'm like, derp, 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 derp. I can't hit a damn thing, except for the one time I blew you out of the sky, but that was kind of like.
Well, I also was like, oh, I'm just gonna fly straight at you.
Yeah, bring it on.
I watched your gun point up. I'm like, there's no way he's gonna. Poof. Oh,
yay!
Okay, he did.
No,
what I do is I go into that test range a lot, and I was even showing Coconut Monkey when we were testing out the 144 hertz panels.
Right.
I'll get in the Little Bird and I'll be doing like circle strafing. I practice circle strafing around that building. I circle strafe the tank.
Do the same thing in a helicopter.
I also take my tank and I'll go as far away as I can and I'll start trying to shoot down the UAVs in the sky. Now, granted, they're slow and they're huge, right?
Right.
What I'll do is I'll just try different things. Like, okay, I'm going to hide behind this building and I'm going to hit it while backing up. You know what I mean? While moving, sort of thing.
Right. Right.
And Coconut Monkey was watching me. He's like, oh my God, because he's like, how are you going to hit it? Your gun doesn't even go up high enough. I'm like, so I'm like, well, we'll just start to drive up this hill and we'll park it up on the hill. And my gun is pointing straight up now. So he's like, I don't know how you do this with the tanks. And I'm like, that's how I feel with you and that damn sniper rifle.
Yep. Totally agree.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot more Battlefield lately. I need to start playing more.
I got a question for you. I know both of us got the 285 right about the same time. And you know, you've said this before because you and Barnacles, Jerry, might get the same item to review, right?
Right.
But yet you guys have totally different approaches on how you review that item or unbox it.
Yeah.
And I know for sure the way you review or unbox something is totally different from the way I do it, as I'm starting to learn how.
I promise, guys, I didn't fart. I know it looked like it. I like leaned up and made a face.
I did kind of.
I'm trying.
Sure?
My back is like tensing up, so I'm trying to. It looked just like I fart. I'm like, well, there we go.
When can everybody expect your video for the R9 285?
Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday. And if you guys are wondering about the methodology, I mentioned it and everything in the video. What I do is I run fraps. Now, Battlefield 4, it's harder to get those number averages because if I'm running Mantle, then it's not detected.
Right.
But when it comes to all the other benchmarks, and by the way, when I give my frames per second averages in Battlefield, I'm using DirectX 11.
And that's after you've tested 3 or 4 times.
Well, what I actually do is I'll run through an entire match of Parcel Storm, and I use Parcel Storm because the rain and all that it's very heavy on the graphics engine. Right. The rain, the splashing, the clouds, the sun, the waves.
Whoop the card's butt.
Yeah. So, and I always do kind of like the same routine. I'll do helicopters, I'll do ground. I kind of do the same thing. What I do is I have fraps on. Again, guys, this is DirectX 11. Mantle is an average of about 5 to 10 frames more than DirectX 11, and I mentioned all this in the video. But anyway, so I turned on fraps. Fraps as a benchmark will run and average out your frames per second for 60 seconds or nonstop. I do 60-second intervals, and it exports it all into a spreadsheet, and it shows you min, max, and average on all of the times that you've run the benchmark. So I'll run it 10 times,
right,
and then I leave the game. I get my averages of those 10, stick it on the spreadsheet. I do that 3 times, and then I average the 3 averages. That's how I get my numbers. Because too many people will be like, oh, I played this one match, here's my average, okay, move on to the next.
That doesn't work because it'll change.
Well, yeah, I try and account for a good 3 solid matches worth of averages.
There you go. And have you told everybody what card you have?
I put pictures of it. I put pictures of it up. I actually have the Vision Tech.
A chance to see.
I have the Vision Tech R9 285.
Very good.
I had some options with other companies. I mean, I work with a lot of companies that do both sides, NVIDIA and AMD. But I chose Vision Tech because they are only AMD, so I figure that's kind of like their expertise.
I don't know if a lot of people know this, but they're one of only 2
lifetime
AMD
warranty
graphic card manufacturers that offer a lifetime warranty on their cards.
Them and XFX are the only 2 companies that offer a lifetime warranty.
That's right.
So I figure too, they stand by their products if they're willing to do that.
Oh, definitely. And what's really cool is over the last few months I've actually called every single AMD graphics card manufacturer to ask them about what's allowed, what can you overclock, can you not, what is allowed for your warranty. And they were one of the ones that I really enjoyed talking to because they're very, very passionate. Like you said, that lifetime warranty proves it, that they're very passionate about their company and their products.
Grab the card here real quick. I'll show it.
There you go.
I want to show what I find is really interesting about this card. This that I'm holding up right here, guys, this is the XFX 280. It's a full-length PCB, custom cooler. It's a full 10-inch long card. This card would have some fitment issues in some. It's got 8-pin and 6-pin power. This is a full-size card. In fact, this card is being given away in the near future.
Hey.
Now, this is the R9 285. 285. R9 285. It's a dual 6-pin power. Let's compare the size of these two cards, shall we? Which one do you think is more powerful? Yeah.
You'll find out Tuesday.
So, in terms of form factor, these two cards, like you would look at the R9 285 and you would just be like, "Oh, that's a cheap little card." I mean, look, you'll see it on the stream. Well, that is a massive size difference of these cards.
Oh yeah.
And I'm guilty also of being like, well, the bigger the card, the bigger the performance.
Hey, baby, have you seen the size of my graphics card?
I got an 11-inch card. 3 of them.
Have you seen the heat pipes on my card? Yeah.
I see people saying Jay should give it away. I'm going to assume the chat hasn't caught up yet.
Yeah, no. Well, I did the same thing. I pulled out my power color hashtag my R9 280.
Yeah.
And sorry.
Do you see it on the stream? Look at the size difference.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing. I pulled out my 280 and I grabbed that. Well, by the way, I have if you guys haven't seen the unboxing I have the Asus Strix. I don't know how to really say that. It's the 285 and it's a cool card, but it's small. I'm like holding them up. I'm like, really? Okay. And it has a lot of features on there. I mean, it's a really cool card. I know we were talking, but about the differences. I'm not going to fill the chat right now with a bunch of the differences. I'm going to invite you to come to my live streams Wednesday through Sunday, 8 to 10 Central Standard Time, and you can come live and ask me questions, or you can hit me up on my social media.
Plug it, Paul. Plug it.
There you go.
Plug it in.
That way, you can actually get a live response from me more directly, because now with 802 of you in here, I'm not going to see chat and be able to answer your questions as easily. This way you can get a more personal response from me, and you can come and enjoy my craziness, because I get a little nuts in my streams.
Chat is very, very difficult to follow in here. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
You like that plug?
Hey.
I'm learning. You guys for a long time, you always told me to stop worrying about my size and just do what you guys do, and you guys taught me to kind of plug myself and be respectful.
That's what she said. You have to just ignore the size and just go for it.
Yeah.
What is hanging down under my desk?
What?
There's a lot of cables hanging down.
Okay.
Hold on, guys. Something's hanging
what's
down
hanging
here.
down on my desk?
Oh, yep, there it is. It's hanging all right.
Oh boy.
No, I got the widescreen gaming forums version of the Ergotech triple monitor stand, and it arrived today, and I was like, it's 4:30. I've got time to put this together and mount my monitors, because I hate having desk-mounted monitors. I can't push things where I like. I've got long arms, guys. Look at these arms. They are very long. So when I try and get comfortable, I have a very wide stance. Some people like a very narrow. I'm I'm using all this desk space. I can't do that when I have stands on the desk.
I had to get an 8-foot-long desk to accommodate my girth.
Yeah. I don't know. Your girth? Well, Paul.
Yeah, baby.
It's not so much the length. It's all about the girth.
But no, seriously, I feel the same way. I take my old PSU boxes that are in my systems, and I use those as monitor stands, so I can get a little more height on the monitor, so I can have extra room under them. Yeah. It looks so ghetto, but hey, I need the room, man. I need the space. I got to spread out.
This Ergotech stand it's actually configurable. So right now it's configured with just 3 panels, but it comes with a longer pull if I wanted to accessory mount a 4th. And I was like, I have 3 extra. See those? Oh, you can't see them, but the chat will see them. There are 24-inch Acers in each one of those boxes right there. Baby. They're in the Asus boxes, but I was like, what am I going to do with those? And I was very tempted to put an accessory panel up here so I'd have 4 panels. But Jerry has terrified me. He's like, no, I've never had more problems than going with the accessory monitor, but yet he won't remove it.
Yeah, well, it looks really cool in the setup.
Well, plus it's what gives us his up-the-nose cam when he's...
What? Oh, my God. He had a bug the other day. It just sat there, and I'm like, I can't tell him. How do I get his attention?
No, you just go, hey, Barnacles, boogie, dude.
You got a nice big boogie up there. No, he was
That's when you're going to roll around for a while.
Right. I think he was doing this, and I was trying to say it in chat because I wasn't on the show. It was like a couple weeks ago. And oh my God, I was dying. I'm like, he's going to either choke on that or shoot it out onto the webcam.
He's going to laugh and it's like right out his nose.
Oh, man.
The other thing, too, with this panel is it actually it pushes the panels about 8 inches closer to me than I'm used to. So my 24s now look like 40s to me. Like, okay, if I want to look to the right, all the way to the right panel,
right?
That's all the way to the right. If I want to look all the way to the left panel, that's all the way to the left. Actually, I can show you guys here. Let's do this. See? There are panels right there.
I gotta wait for the delay to see, because for some reason Skype is broken on us and I can't see him until it happens in the stream.
And there's the back. They're very, very cool.
I wanted to ask you,
this webcam is hot,
because you were looking at the same 144 hertz monitors I was.
The VG248QE.
Yeah. Yep. What made you choose that one over the BenQ? Or over the other option? I mean, those are the two main options. So what made you choose the Asus?
It's funny. It's kind of a funny story, actually. I chose the BenQs. I was at Micro Center and I chose the BenQs, and they only had 2 in stock. And the nearest, not Micro Center, I'm sorry, Fry's. I was at Fry's. The nearest Fry's that had one in stock was Arizona.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So I was going to get the BenQs because what I don't like about these panels, and I still have to do panel review of this. In fact, the panel review is already shot. I'm in the process of editing it. It's 100% gloss panel. Every piece of plastic on this panel is gloss. And then and I've talked about how I don't like how it attracts fingerprints and it attracts like dust and stuff. And people were like, "Well, why don't you stop petting on your monitors and you won't get the fingerprints?"
I don't touch my monitor that much, and somehow fingerprints appear. I swear I have little gnomes that run around and put fingers on my damn monitor. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. But the thing is, the gloss, it's like a dust magnet.
Oh, yeah.
Dust is just like, and it sticks to it. Like the back of these panels.
Isn't it the same thing with Gunners?
Oh, yeah, Gunners, I feel like I need to clean more than any other lens I've ever owned.
I'm just like, what the hell? But
so the backs of these panels, when I was hooking them up today, they've only been in here a week. And I've not spent that much time in this office this week because I was supposed to be in Chicago, so I had a lot of videos queued up and ready to go. The backs of these panels look like dust gray. They're just solid dust. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate these gloss panels. That's why I wanted the BenQs.
Yep, I like my BenQ.
But you know, the fact that these panels were $80 cheaper than the BenQs per panel was kind of nice too.
Really? Mine was only $200. Although I can't say.
Yeah, but I was looking at the 2420Z though, which is like that's like the highest end one they have.
Oh, yes. No, this is just the wait, I thought there was only one 144 hertz BenQ on the market.
No, there's also the 2411 144 hertz. That's a little bit different
like the
panel.
2411X or whatever.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
That's the one I got.
And it has like on the right hand side, the buttons kind of stick down a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the I didn't want that one because when you go 3 panels side by side, that would look weird.
That would kind of look weird. Yes, I would agree.
And is that a 1 millisecond response time?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that one there, they only had 2 of them in also. He tried to bring me that one first, and I'm like, that's the wrong panel. He's like, no, that's BenQ. That's BenQ. I'm like, yeah, it is BenQ, but it's the wrong panel. I want the 2420Z.
You wanted the one with the nice stand that has the, like, when your finger gets near it, it lights up.
You mean the stand that would just get removed anyway, like these guys right here?
Dang it. Oh, yeah. You just installed that whole thing you just talked about.
Yeah, I'm showing the Asus. The Asus stands are very nice, but they're obsolete now. I don't know where I'm going to stick them. I'll tell you where you can stick them.
No, indeed. But no, that's awesome. Now I want to see the difference, because I know a buddy of mine who's here in San Antonio for a little while. He has the Asus 144 hertz, and I wanted to put these right by side and see the difference.
Yeah.
To kind of give an explanation. That's why I was talking about your difference with how you approach your 285. Where if they come and talk to me about mine, I'm going to give them my experience, and then I'm going to have benchmarks available, not necessarily as thoroughly as you do, but they're going to understand my differences between how I played with my 280 versus my 285 and my 290X. You know what I mean?
I benched it. See, I have a spreadsheet with all of my previous benchmarks that I can plug it in and compare it.
Nice.
But this video is not going to be about comparing it to all the other cards. I'm not taking that approach. I've already done the 280 versus the 760. We've already determined the 280 is the winner, and the 285 is stronger than the 280. It's a no-brainer. Right. The question is, how much stronger is it than the 280? I'm not even going to go that route. I'm just going to throw out my benchmarks and let people take the information and do what they want with it. I totally forgot where I was going with this train of thought. Whatever. Oh, yeah. So do you know how I tweeted the other day that I had to learn how to play all over again with these 144 hertz panels?
Uh-huh.
So last night was actually my first real experience where I felt like the 144 hertz was actually helping. And I think you may have noticed I was making some pretty advanced rushes on there.
Dude, I mean, you were rushing a team of like 6 of us and murdering all of us before we had time to react. I was like, holy crap. And Greek was like, ah!
There's plenty of times where I'm coming through, I'm like, SMAW, MTAR, sidearm, grenade, and I'm running through the next door.
And Jay's like, Smarry, ha ha ha.
Smarry.
Didn't mean to kill your whole team. Smarry about that.
Yeah, there was one SMAW I shot down a hallway, and it was like quadruple kill. I was like, oh, that's nice.
Nice.
and then I threw an incendiary grenade and like finished off the last guy.
I had a quick question for you. Do you know, just off the top of your head, do you have a lot of women or female gamers that have a hard time finding groups to play with?
Oh, I'm glad you went that way. For a minute there, you asking if I had a lot of females. And I'm like, dude, the wife watches.
Let me append that real quick.
Like once a year.
Reason I ask is because, again, I don't mean to plug this again, but I just got to, real quick, you know when your brain goes, oh, hey, I should bring this up real quick.
Yeah.
We have a Fragging Frog who is a soul warrior female that plays, you know, as our own, she's basically Torn TV's wife. Mm-hmm. That's who she is, and she's our only female in the group. And I know she would love for other females to come play with her because, you know, she started as never touching a Battlefield 4 game.
I'm gonna be honest. The only other female I play with I play video games with on a pretty regular basis when I do play is Soccer PJ.
Hey. There you go.
I know anyone who's played with me for any length of time knows Soccer PJ, and it's funny.
She's been around a long time.
It's funny. I have this like running joke going. Anytime somebody kills her, I'm like, "She's a nice lady. Leave her alone."
When you used to stream a lot, that's
like, you killed Soccer PJ. She's a nice lady.
Leave her alone. Yeah, I just want to throw that out there because I know
somebody
like my wife.
Somebody just kind of joined us in here. What's up, kiddo?
I want to sound.
All right, she can sit in here for the last few minutes, but you have to keep it down, okay?
Okay.
All right.
What's up, cutie?
There's a microphone covering your face.
Who is this?
Who is that? That's Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hi.
All right, we're doing tech talk right now.
So adorable.
You're doing tech talk. We have 10 more minutes, okay?
So adorable.
Linus has to pay for Lambo payments. No, he has a Lambo lease. That's different.
He's a Lambo lease.
All right.
Hilarious.
All right, guys. So this is that part of the day where we will we just kind of, or the part of the stream where we just take your Twitter blitz and your Twitter questions. So if you have a question, head on over to hashtag. Ooh, wow, that was actually a really funny. I'm sorry, I'm going to retweet that. Problem in the morning sent by Celtic Fox.
Oh
All
my
right.
goodness! What the hell is that? You should go to the doctor if that happens, because that looks a little abnormal.
I think you took too many of the blue pills.
Oh, it was because of my comment about girth.
Oh, probably. Okay, yeah. So if you guys have any questions, just kind of blurt them out in the chat. Well, good luck in the chat. Put them. Go on Twitter. Send them to me at JayzTwoCents, or send it to I am apropos. And
someone asked, "How is my ATR 2500?" Well, Jay, you've been around me for over a year now, and you've experienced the different microphones I've used. Mm-hmm. How does this sound compared to those other ones? Like the headset I used for WhatsApp.
There's no comparison.
This one's way better, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Didn't you learn of that one through Deadpool Plays?
Yeah, Deadpool Mike. He I even had someone donated, and thanks to I have some generous friends and viewers that were like, dude, you need a good mic. They donated a bunch of money, and I had the money pulled up to buy, you know, all the stuff needed, mic and mixer and all that. And he's like, no. For what you're doing, take a look at this thing. It's only like, you can find this thing for $50-$60. And so I had a Yeti at one point, and I had the headset. And for the price of a Yeti, which is a decent microphone, you had it for a while. You had
the Yeti is way overpriced.
Right, but for the same price of that whole thing, I got a boom arm, a pop filter, this, what are these called? Shock mount.
Yeah.
And this microphone. And it just plug and play, and it sounds fantastic. I mean, I have a good time with it. Well, I used to do karaoke with it, and it sounded...
And if you have a deep voice, it really captures like the smoothness of a voice.
Definitely. Most definitely. I love it.
I like how you're like, definitely.
Yeah, baby.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I like this mic a lot. What's funny is I'll go into like Call of Duty when I play my knife stuff, and I'll be like, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to watch while I play Knife Party, blah blah blah. And people are like, stop using a voice whatever changer. I'm like, that's me.
I know, right?
That's just me.
Guys, Linus does not have a Lambo. That was something Jerry started back at like Tech Talk number 30 as a joke, and it's stuck. It is stuck. Jerry has single-handedly shaped the image of Linus because of Linus Lambo and Linus
That's
Lambo
so
Tech
funny.
Tips.
But didn't someone make a picture and like posted
Jerry's
Linus in the Lambo?
Jerry's died.
Oh no!
No, I'm
Don't tell
kidding.
her
I'm
that.
kidding. He's not dead.
Where is
She gasped.
She was like, no, he's out driving a car. He's making a video with a car.
Real quick, I will tell everybody watching though, if you're interested in having control over your volumes and mixers, Jay did a video on a whole setup that was actually very cost effective and gave you awesome sound.
And there's other mixers around the same price range. It just gives you an idea of what it's like to have a mixer with an XLR mic. Like right now, you guys are probably hearing a lot of background noise. I have a fan literally blowing on my junk.
You kind of have to.
Because the AC is off right now, and it's the summer. It's 103 today. Granted, it's not super hot. Why does your hair keep flying in my mouth? Oh, yeah, the ball fan. So anyway, yeah, so I kind of have to have all these fans going in here. Otherwise, it would usually be pretty quiet. So.
Very good. Got a question from Kyle Metz. He's asking, should I buy a second 760 and use SLI? And I'm thinking he's meant to say and. I think he meant to say or buy a 780 instead for more flexibility.
Oh, a 780 is going to smash two 760s. Ignore any benchmark you've ever seen that says otherwise. That's just not the case. I had all the cards, and that's not the case.
But should I shake my pom-poms and say, would you consider a R9 290X, sorry?
Oh, a 290X would smash a single 780. But if we're talking about like
and price point too.
If we're talking about factory overclocks, well, you can get a 780 now for 450, sometimes as low as 400.
And there's a 290X for 369.
What brand?
Gigabyte.
Oh, figures. No, I'm kidding. No, I like Gigabyte, guys. Don't quote me on that.
Is
no,
it 369. I may be way off.
If it's
on my price. Somebody
369,
just
I'll be
messaged.
shocked.
That's really cheap.
Yeah, it should be like every.
It might be the 290 non-X. Sorry.
It would have to be because I'm still seeing 290Xs for 600. Some is 550, 600. Like even the Vision Tech one is 599.
Okay, yeah, I'm way off. Sorry. 4 days no sleep, folks. I've had like 30-minute naps here and there. I'm just kind of.
Statistically speaking, you should be dead.
Yeah, I'm so used to it now.
Oh yeah,
You've known me for a year now. I go waves of no sleep. It used to irritate Barbecue to no end because at this point I'm usually off my rocker and just giggly. Well, I've giggled through most of this, but a lot worse.
Yeah.
But I had a nap before this, so I'm good.
I like when you're tired because I feel like the world's best comedian.
Yeah, everything's funny.
I'm like, what's up, Paul? Let's do it, and you're like rolling on the floor. Yay! You got Arnold. Woo! All right.
Now everybody's like spamming me. Can you provide all the information for your mic and setup? Yeah, later. I'll post that. It later.
I think Paul should do a video about it.
Okay, I will do. That's a good challenge. I'll do that and I'll post that by.
Remember, you've got a channel you're working on growing. Guys, go and sub Paul. I love Paul. Paul's been a fan of mine since long before I ever became even slightly famous, and I've been a fan of Paul's personality since the day I met him. I don't even remember how I met you. You just kind of appeared in my life one day, and it was like
Greek's
peanut butter
channel.
and jelly. Was it Greek?
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. I, the Greek, went to stream something. You tweeted out that he was giving away a Battlefield 4 key. I haven't had Battlefield 3, and I didn't have the game yet, so I was going to go promote his stream real quick. I go in there, and he says, "Hey, are you I Am Apropos from PC Part Picker?" And you said, "Yes, that's him."
Wow.
And I went, "Holy crap, Jay knows who I am."
That's weird. Yeah, so you and I've been friends all along. So my advice to you and anyone in this channel who is like, I want to do a channel but I don't know what videos to make. If you're ever asked a question, there's your topic.
I got it. I'll make a video about this Audio Technica. Audio Technica ATR 2500.
That's how you make videos without a budget. That's how you make videos without getting sent product. I wasn't sent product for the first year and a half of my YouTube channel being around. So if you have anything in your house that you can actually like, what are you laughing at?
Just the whole is why is I am apropos listed as Barnacles?
Why are you laughing? Knock it off! No! All right. So anyway, yeah, I have a child necklace going on right now. So anyway,
She's so adorable.
she's trying to strangle me right now because we have this thing. We have this thing going when if, like she grabs my neck, I go. Blah. And so she's actually been gripping as hard as she can for like the last 10 minutes. That's why my head's turning red. She has got me in like a freaking chokehold, UFC style. She's gonna go for an armbar. All right. So anyway, yeah. If anyone asks you a question like, "Well, what do you think of this?" or "What do you think of that?" do a video on it.
I'll do it.
Look how hard
someone wants. She's really trying. Apparently,
She's
someone
trying
wants
to-
me to do a video on how I'm doing.
I want the
She's
black.
trying to break off my head.
I want the black.
How old is she now?
5.
Oh my goodness.
5 going on 15. Oh, I think she's got me in a full like. Yep, she does. Oh my God, this is actually crushing my trachea.
No.
Bucky, stop it! Tickle you. All right.
She's giggling all for it.
All right, guys, it's time to sign off. Paul, tell them where they can find you.
I am apropos everywhere. I welcome you all because I love communicating. Twitter, Facebook, but most of all, I'm live Wednesday through Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time on Twitch. YouTube, of course, I'm trying to put out videos once a week. Expect them either Tuesday or Wednesday every week. And next week might be this idea of this microphone. So come and say hi. I welcome all of you, and you're all more than welcome to come and hang out and be part of the A-team.
Jay's got that child bling, someone says.
Man.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get on and play with you guys more often. I'd like to play with the Fragging Frog group. Fragging
Can I mention that real quick?
A Fragging Frog group. Yeah, go ahead.
Friday is TGIFFF. It is, thank God, it's Fragging Frog Friday. If you don't have anything to do and you have any game you want to play, we welcome you to come hang out with us. There's a wonderful group of people. We start at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, but every day of the week, the Fragging Frogs are going to be gaming, so you can come and hang out. Their information can be found at pcper.com forums under gaming. They are the Fragging Frogs. You can find their information on my Twitch as well. If you go to my channel and hit the Fragging Frog button, it's there. Bye, little one. Just come. We welcome everybody. Come and have a good time.
She actually left a minute ago, Paul.
Well, I just saw it a little bit ago.
I'm actually laughing because someone in the chat said Ryan Flynn says she's laughing as she murders you.
But no, I welcome everybody. It's fun because I know I don't like gaming by myself. I enjoy it with other people, and this is honestly, I tell you the truth, these guys are fun to game with. There's so many different variety of personalities there. You will not have a boring time. You'll leave there you have had an awesome night. So come.
And if you guys are wondering what's coming up on my channel, we got the R9 285 video on Tuesday.
Yes.
Next week, we also have a video going where I take all of the comments of people who are like, Jay, you can't do parallel configs with the inlet and outlet on the same side or your cards are going to overheat. And I myth bust that one
true?
into a bajillion little pieces. I have lots and lots of videos coming. In fact, this entire room right now is just trashed because it's like this week all of a sudden was like delivery week, and the UPS and FedEx and DHL guy had been here every single day this week. So
nice,
I've got a lot to get done, but I'm also going to be taking like some, requests of particular videos covering certain topics and stuff. It's been a while since I've let the audience choose, so I'll be doing that soon. But we've got a lot going on, guys. So do yourself a favor, go follow Paul, find him on. Well, I am apropos. I'm sure if you go to Google and type that in, he's the only one you're really going to find.
You'll see this. Now that's what's up.
And on that note, we might as well sign it off. I'm playing that outro.
It's the exit of TikTok. It's the exit of TikTok.
Get to the chopper! No!
Damn it, Bobby.